Hello guys, this is just a quick look at where I am in bringing back an old project that I made. This was originally a project in nuclear fusion, an engine that was based on DirectX 11? Yeah, I'm going to say 11. I took some assets that I had kicking around and loaded them up into Godot. So I'm just having a quick look. There might be some background sounds going on behind me, so I'm going to apologize for that right now in case you hear them. But I took these assets, pulled them into Godot, and Godot uses right now GLS 3 as a render, and maybe if we're lucky we get to version 4 we'll have some Vulkan as a renderer. But I took those old assets and put them into the engine and just started turning on some of the default features. And some of the stuff you can get from Godot right away are well, lighting and reflections and even screen space reflections, which I think I have turned off right now. Yeah, but to a certain degree, let me just double check. Do I put the reflection probe in? Space cube. Yep. Nope. Yeah, I think so. But I've been able to recreate. I know it's probably not showing up the best for you guys there, but I've been able to recreate my semi-volumetric star fields. It's probably not going to record well or translate well over YouTube, but the brighter parts of the screen and the stars are actually layered, a set of layered skyboxes. So see if I can hide one. Yep, there we go. So this one appears to be a little bit of a fuzzier, more of the what's the word? More of the nebulas in front of it. The back one is crisper. So if I drop the back one off, there we go. That's the main space cube. Let's turn off the inner one. So if you look in behind now, it doesn't look like much has changed, but that's part of the environment. So if I turn off the environment, okay, so this is all there really is in the scene. Just these ships, and if you notice, they still have their bump mapping, but it doesn't do too much. And then there's a couple planets. Now the planets themselves are giant sprites held at a distance, and we can get into more of that later. But we have these ships here with their material, but again, the environment now. So the environment for lighting is a panoramic map. So it's a cube map, but it has to be done like a panorama. So I used, I think it was an online resource, which I do forget the name right now, but I'll find it eventually and post it. And that resource takes the 6-image cube map and turns it back into a panorama, in case you don't have a panorama from your scenes. But as you can see, there's a few errors here and there that you would have to go in and scrub out with a tablet or whatever. But for the sake of lighting, those errors don't matter. If you can see, it's already. Oops, I gotta watch that. I have that adaptive brightness on as well. It's supposed to behave like the human eye when you look at something bright, but I don't have it set right. But if you look, we're already getting the lighting on the surfaces of the objects. So that would be the original little ship that I made back in my DirectX days. Before I really knew what I was doing, but I hand painted the textures and just brought them in. I haven't really fixed anything up. Some things I did improve is I was able to use better blending modes on the engines and thrusters, so they're going to already look better than they did back in the day. So when we get to the point of animating those, that it'll be a lot better. The emissives actually work better as well, like some of these red parts. And I really don't know if this is recording my mouse. I hope it is, but the emissive here, I know it looks like it's a bleeding texture, but if we get in here and trick it, you'll see it's actually lighting up the bump map around itself, because it actually is an emissive spot in the emissive layer. So all of that stuff has to be tweaked, but the skybox was a rebuild, and I know it's kind of hard to see on probably what YouTube is going to catch, but the star fields and stuff there have a slight bit of depth to them. So later when we get into the first person flying of, sorry, actually the original intent of the game was to be third person flying of the small ships like this and this one when I get this one textured. Geez, I must have looked at something bright again. You will see sort of like parts of the nebulous and stuff actually stick out, so you get a sense of moving through a larger volume. Again, like I said, the planets are just 2D sprites, and I'll have different levels of... I'll probably redo some of them because some of them haven't weathered well as far as keeping up with what Run engines can do. For the really big planets, I won't be doing actual 3D meshes for them. I don't think. I think I will actually still stick to large sprites because they'll be fine. But anyhow, that's that part. The other thing that I'm gonna quickly grab here is actually let's grab this blue one here. I don't want to actually have it be the active selection. I've practiced making rocks or asteroids in Blender, and they are the same mesh actually. They start as the same mesh, even this big rock, all of them, they all have the same mesh, and they have some procedural deformation and noise applied, and also the texture is one of Blender's node-based what do you call it? Be a node-based material applied using their shader, the shader graph inside Blender. The lighting here might be hiding the fact that there's actual specular and all that on the rocks, and I haven't really taken time to tweak them. I just wanted to see that it was possible to make mineralized asteroids and whatnot. And yeah, they work pretty good. So the detailed asteroids might end up looking a lot like this, and among some other ones. Maybe I can get some oh yeah, there's a bit of reflection here. But it's hard to see, but the lighting of the scene is also correctly being applied to these rocks, but they're essentially black. They're kind of neutral, so they have no... some parts of them have no real way to reflect. There's a few scenes like this. Was one of the first ones. Sorry, and it has a seam in its texture. But I'm hoping that we never get close enough to even see those seams for these things. For the small asteroids. And then the bigger ones, I'll probably be hand modeling those. So, we'll see. But anyhow, this is the state of the... this is the state of the asset importing. This one here, I don't know if screen space reflection is turned on. We might see the reflection of one of the planets on it. No, just the lighting skybox. Yep. Yeah, just the light that comes from the skybox. Anyhow, that's that. A little video update. Hoping today to make, at least with this one here that's got the textures, pull across some of my old code from the old a type of C++. It's written in C for an engine that doesn't really exist anymore. So I'm going to have to chop it up and convert it into Python like Godot script. Just for a few that have never seen Godot script, it looks like Python. It just is got a different set of basically a different API, and some of the things that exist in Python exist in Godot script. It's just sometimes the case or the capitalization is off, so I type it in wrong all the time. But yeah, this is just that's just a little script that makes the asteroids turn, so there's not much else going on there. Let's go back to 3D. If I run this here, it's just basically a live camera. So this is what it actually looks like. Here, this is what it looks like actually running. Sorry, I've got the camera speed set pretty high, but that's actually what it looks like running. So, and of course we've got these planets here. I'm going to move my camera speed up a bit actually. Okay. So, okay, yeah, so we will make our way over. I don't know if you can see the edge there. If the stars are distorting for you the way that they are for me. It's hard to tell because YouTube can be a little bit different with compression. Now we're getting near the edge of the skybox now. We've moved a long way, like we probably can't even figure out where those ships were. No. You're going to see that this planet here is just a giant sprite just before the edge of the skybox. See, boop. This is the outside lighting box, and that's the border of the skybox. Oh, and if you go, because of the camera draw distance, you can actually go too far to see the other one. Now, I don't know what speed we're moving at, but we're definitely moving faster than what those ships are supposed to be able to. Oh, there they are. They're like the little bright sparks in the middle of the screen while we're strafing over this way. We're going to go see this planet over here, which most of you can already see. It's gone 2D. What you might see, oh, you see that, I don't know if you can see in the nebula in the center screen there, there's kind of like an echo or a copy. That's the depth layers of the two pieces of the skybox, being like a parallax error when we're this far to the side that you would never be as a player. But then again, so you also wouldn't see this planet like that. Right, so whether that's, you want to call that a moon or whatever, but you would never see that way. And over here, okay, there in the middle, you can see more pronounced the layers of the skybox here. It's a two-piece skybox. One, the inside uses alpha, and here we go. We're pretty close. So you get the back, and you get the front. The front layer does not contain the bright stars. It just has the nebula parts, right? So it gives like volume to the gas, and if I'm guessing correctly, I think we're flying at the middle of the universe here. Let's have a look. Yep. Oh, they're there. There's the ships. So I may have gone a little bit longer than I originally intended, but this gives you guys, let's do a quick fly around here. Now you're not going to really be able to get near the edges of the skybox because they're going to move elastically around the perspective of the player. So it's hard to explain that until you see it work, but you'll never get near the edge of that skybox to see anything other than maybe the perception of the little bit of depth of the gas clouds. That's about it. So today I'm hoping to get the ability to fly these guys around and then follow up with something that I could never do in the old engine, and that is I want to figure out how to do volumetric clouds for the nebulas inside the area, so you'd be able to have dusty spots and gas clouds and stuff that you could fly through, but I'm gonna have to work that out. Anyhow, that's my update on this project, and as always, if you like this kind of stuff, don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching, and catch you in the next one. Bye.